Hello and welcome back to Road to Wire. In this one, we're going to have a look at the most popular questions ahead of FPL Gameweek 15, so let's get straight into it. Okay, and the first question we're looking at is whether you should sell Semenyo or not. Now, this might sound like a weird one because obviously Semenyo, one of the best players in FPL this season. However, recently, he hasn't been. He hasn't got an attack in return in quite a long time now. I think it's been 6 game weeks since he got an attack in return, which was in game week 8. So it has been a while. And the fixtures for the next couple for Bournemouth aren't the best. It's Chelsea in game week 15. It's Man United in game week 16. After that, it is Burnley. So you maybe do want him back for that. And obviously, you can keep him. The Chelsea and the Man United defences aren't exactly elite. So it's not the worst thing if you have to keep him. I'm not saying you have to sell him. However, I think you can sell him and go for like a 1 or 2 week punt and then get him back for that Burnley fixture. It's Brentford after the Burnley one as well. So they do have a couple of good fixtures coming up. However, the next 2 aren't the best. And the reason I say I think you can sell him is because we get 5 free transfers next week, meaning that we can be a bit more aggressive and a bit more punty with these next couple of weeks. What you can do is essentially sell him this week, use one of your 5 free transfers in a couple of weeks' time to just bring him back in, and you can go for a couple of week punt in game week 15, 16 when Semenyo hasn't got the best fixtures. Now, that could look like a Newcastle player. They obviously play Burnley in game week 15, so it could look like a Gordon if you think he starts. I think he probably does start in game week 15. The game week 16 fixture isn't as good, but you could even just buy Semenyo back in game week 16, to be honest. You could keep whoever you buy for as long as you want. Another really good option that I like is a Man City midfielder, Phil Foden. You could buy him. He's got Sunderland this week. He's been on fire recently. And then you can actually make a decision whether or not you buy Semenyo back from Foden anyway, or you could just keep Foden. Because I think in game week 17, when Semenyo plays Burnley, I think Foden plays West Ham anyway, meaning you may just want to keep Foden. Either way, I do think that selling Semenyo is a viable option this week, and you can look for a player who's got a good fixture for the next couple of weeks. Right, the second question we're looking at is who is the best defender to buy? I know some people are going to be selling a defender this week. Popular one to sell is probably Senesi. The next 2 fixtures aren't great, as we just mentioned with Semenyo. I think you can do a similar thing where you sell Senesi. You probably got quite a lot of money tied up in him, but you can still sell him and you don't necessarily need to even get him back. However, who is the best defender to buy? I think this hasn't changed for quite a long time. You can get an Arsenal defender in. Now that Timber's had his rest, he probably is the one to get. I doubt he now misses too many Premier League games. So I think they're the best defence in the league. Their fixtures are okay. They're not unbelievable, but they're not bad at all. So I think you could just go for Timber and he should be pretty safe now. Now, the next option you could go for as well is Munoz. He's been mentioned quite a lot by myself, by others. He scored, obviously, a couple days ago. He is just brilliant. He is so attacking. He plays basically as a right winger. He is unbelievable. And the fixtures are just kind of good for Palace. Palace are great. The fixtures aren't bad. I also like Chris Richards if you can't afford Munoz. He is also a pretty good option. He just keeps getting bonus. He keeps getting defensive contributions. And he's still not too expensive either. So I think Arsenal and I think Crystal Palace are the 2 places you should probably be looking if you need a defender this week. The next question we're looking at are the best 1 week punts. And this is kind of 1 or 2 week punts because I think, as we mentioned, you can sell someone like Semenyo, someone like Senesi, or a forward and just go for either a 1 week punt or a 2 week punt because we get 5 free transfers after the game week 15 deadline is done. So I do quite like the play of doing that. Most teams are set up well enough that you don't need to use these 5 free transfers to be putting out fires. So you can make some luxury moves and be really aggressive over the next couple of weeks. And some of the players I like are Newcastle players. They play Burnley in game week 15. So someone like Gordon, who hasn't started the last few games, but I think he will be in line to start in game week 15. They've got Burnley this week, so I really like them as an option. If you're going to go for a defender, then I think that a Newcastle defender works as well. Someone like Thiaw potentially. I also like Man United players. They play Wolves and then they play Bournemouth in the next 2. So I really like someone like Cunha, and Burmo should be there for both of them as well. So if you don't have him already, then he's definitely one to get in. You could also look at some of the defenders from Man United, maybe a De Ligt, although I'm not sure I necessarily trust the minutes of any of the defenders. We know that Amorim likes to use all of his defenders and he subs some off quite frequently as well. You could go for someone like Amad Diallo if you really wanted to go much more differential. I definitely like them. Another one is Phil Foden, as I've just mentioned. He looks on fire right now. And City play Sunderland at home in game week 15. Now, typically Sunderland isn't an unbelievable fixture, but Sunderland at home for City is much better. Sunderland, when they're at the Stadium of Light, are very, very good and very, very solid. They are a little bit worse when they're playing away from home. This game is at the Etihad, so I do like Phil Foden. I like any of the Man City players that you think will start. And lastly, who is the best captain for game week 15? Now, the first player we're looking at is obviously Erling Haaland. He was absolutely fantastic in game week 14 against Fulham. And in game week 15, as I just mentioned, Man City play Sunderland at home. So I have no doubt that he plays. I have no doubt that he starts and gets loads of minutes. I wouldn't be worried about that. So I think he's a great option. If you wanted a differential option from Man City, then obviously, as I mentioned, Phil Foden is a great option as well. Then we've got Man United against Wolves. If Bruno Fernandes is fit and fine, then he is definitely an option. I think Mbeumo is a really good option as well. He, again, is a bit more of a differential captain. Not too differential to own him, but to captain him is very, very differential. So I really like him as an option. And the last team I'd be looking at if you want to go ultra differential is Newcastle. As I mentioned, they play Burnley at home. If you could go for Gordon if you think he starts, then I really like him. Or Voltemada, again, if you think he starts. I think he's an unbelievable option this week. It depends how different you want to go. It doesn't seem like a great week to go against Haaland, if I'm honest. So I'd maybe just stick it on him. But if you wanted to go differential, then these are the guys I'll be looking at. But that is all for this one. If you liked the video, make sure you hit like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you're checking out rotowire.com/soccer. All sorts of good stuff on there. You've got a fixture analyzer, you've got stats tables, you've got all sorts of stuff for your FPL needs. So make sure you're checking it out. rotowire.com/soccer. But that is all. We will see you in the next one.